We're going to dig some potatoes today. My mom likes it when I film myself working and then speed it up in the video. She thinks that's funny. She gets a kick out of it. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to get. I got one row left, and then I don't know, we'll find something else to do after that. It's about 30 pounds. It wasn't a full row. It was about 3/4 of a row, so it's been about average. Probably 175 pounds altogether. Count what I dug down there by the raised beds and what I'd already dug out of this before I started filming. Like a week ago. Yeah, probably 175 pounds, 150, 175, somewhere in that 150, 175 range. So I'm shooting for 200. That's not bad. I can't argue with that. Not a bad haul at all. It is hard work. I wish it went as fast as I'm going to make it looks like it went in the video when I get done with my amateur editing. But the next thing to do is to fire this old tiller up and go through this and make this back to where it's workable ground again, because it's just clots and humps of dirt that needs to be smoothed back out. I may go ahead and pull those zucchinis out. I see at least one, maybe a couple of zucchinis in there I can pick before I pull that out. I'll pull all that out, throw that over the fence, and it'll get chopped up in the next mowing. And then I'll run the tiller through this. And we'll decide what we're going to do with it about them black beans. I'm going to tackle them today or not. I don't know. I mean, the weather looks like it would permit it. I just don't know where I'm going to dry them out at, so I may have to let them. Wait till I get these potatoes put up. But I can plant some of the grandpa beans anyway, so we might actually get to plant something today. I don't know, but I'm gonna run the tiller through this and get it smoothed up, and then I'll catch back up with you. So this is a wheel hoe. I got it all tilled up. I tilled it both directions. First this way to break all the clots up, and then back across to kind of smooth it out. Found a few more potatoes while I was tilling. Of course, most of them got chopped up by the tiller. And I'm gonna cut a couple of rows here, and then we'll plant some grandpa beans. These are grandpa beans. You know what? Let's sit down and talk about this. Okay. My wife's grandparents got divorced when she was very young. My wife might have been alive when they got divorced. Anyway, that's besides the point. He married another woman, and they were the happy couple their entire life. He lived to be, she'll probably correct me, but he lived to be, I think, 97, either 97 or 95. So he was in his 90s, well into his 90s. And his his wife's name was Romy, which is that's what everyone called her anyway. Uh, and her father. So these people were old. I mean, like I said, Ern lived to be well into his 90s, and he died in 20. I don't know. I have to ask my wife. It was sometime in the 21st century. Okay, I can't remember exactly what year it was. Anywho, uh, his wife's father developed a strain of beans, green beans, that he crossed white half runners and some kind of field bean, and crossed all these different beans to develop a bush bean that he liked. They they rarely have a string in them. They get really full. They make a good full bean, and they only get about, at the tallest I've seen is about 24 inches tall. That's these beans right here. Her grandfather grew these all his life, or as long as he was married to Rome, which was most all my wife's life. This is the beans that her grandfather grew. He called them dirty beans because everyone back home usually grows a white half runner, which is a pole bean which climbs. So you don't have to bend over and pick them like these I've got growing in this arch right here. Well, these are a bush bean. They only get about 2 feet tall, and every time it rains, the mud splashes up on them. So when you pick them, they're kind of dirty, and that's why he called them dirty beans. Well, we call them grandpa beans because they're her grandpa. This seed is over 100 years old, well over 100 years old. So I think that qualifies as an heirloom. Also, these are the only of these seeds that exist. I think, come to think of it, I think she gave her cousin some up in Indiana. He may be growing them. Her brother's got some seed. I don't know if he planted them or not, but as far as I know, I'm the only person. My wife and I were the only people that are growing these grandpa beans, and they're the best beans I've ever eaten. But they're a bush bean. You plant them, and most people that plant bush beans spend their days bent over in the garden picking beans. I don't do that. I plant them. This is what our grandfather did too. We plant them. We wait till they get good and full, till some of them start to turn white, and then we just pull the whole plant up, and we sit here in the backyard and pluck the beans off of them. We throw the vines in the compost, and then we process the beans however we're going to do them. We usually uh, can them. I think last year we dried some out into shucky beans, or as you Yankees call them, leather breeches. We dried some out in like that, uh, but we usually can them. But that's the story of the grandpa beans. It's a family heirloom bean that's been around for over 100 years, and as far as I know, unless her cousin in Indiana has been successful and he actually grew them, we're the only people growing them. We're probably the only people in Kentucky growing them anyway. And so they're very special to us, very special to my wife. It's very important to me to make sure that her family heritage bean uh, keeps going, stays active, keeps growing. So we grow them every year. We save seeds every year, and yeah, that's the story of the grandpa bean. And I'm going to put some in the ground right now. Now, most people, well, I don't know about most people. A lot of people don't know this, but fertilizing beans really isn't necessary. They're a legume. Beans, peas, lentils, they actually make their own nitrogen. They pull it out of the air. And so, and they store it in the roots. So when you grow beans, it's actually good for your soil. They actually help build your soil. So if you're growing a garden, you should always grow beans or peas. This is why I like to grow these. I started doing this actually last year. Year before last. We grew 2 crops of them year before last. But I like to grow a late crop of these. This year you've had somewhere like potatoes or even tomatoes that are like generally heavy feeders. Put these beans in here and they'll rebuild your soil. That doesn't hurt to throw a little fertilizer on them, but they don't need much fertilizing. Kind of take care of that on their own. I plant them pretty thick. You see how close I have these two rows together. This whole section here that I've got tilled up, when I get done, it will just be rows like this, that close together all the way across it. There won't be any room to walk in between them, so they'll grow. This is the story of the parable in the Bible of the wheat and the tares. I grow my beans with the tares. They will actually get thick enough where they pretty much smother all the weeds out. And so that's the story of the grandpa beans. I think it's a sweet story. Uh, this family this old man that's grown these beans for all these years, and now his granddaughter is, a man who lived to be almost 100. And now his granddaughter's got them growing in her backyard. I think that's really sweet, and it's kind of the hillbilly way. We don't like to let go of our traditions. We like to keep our family members alive through those memories and heirlooms and things like that. That's why we cling to things so much that our relatives had. When they passed away, we cling to those things because we think that we can keep them alive with them. And most of those things are, they're dead objects. Furniture and clothing, even pictures. Really, I mean, it's important to keep some pictures, but those aren't living and breathing. But these beans are a living, breathing thing that's unique to my wife's family. So we're gonna keep them going as long as we're alive, and then hopefully Hunter or Katie will take up the mantle and keep them going for another generation or two. But that's the completion of the potato harvest this year, and the grandpa beans are finally going in the ground. I'm going to get these planted today if it hardly the world. Uh, that way I can rest easy. I don't have to worry about it because I mean we're middle of July. We're running out of time. It's getting tight. But 45 days after germination, they'll be ready to pull. So it should be pulling beans in September, which is going to be cool enough out here to stand it, and it still won't be any danger of any frost hitting or anything like that. But thanks for watching. I know like a lot of friends and stuff out there that like these gardening videos, so I try to put them out pretty often, and we'll find something to do tomorrow. If it doesn't rain, maybe we'll pull these black beans up and get the grandpa beans planted over there too. Until then, this is your gardening real estate agent reminding you that Jesus loves you. Don't forget that. And oh, we are having uh, church on the green at the Century Bank Park in Lawrenceburg this Sunday. Our church is hosting. We'll be having service right there at 11 o'clock. If like if you normally go to church somewhere else and you just, we're not looking to snipe members off anybody, but if you want to come visit, we would love to have you. We're going to have the Patriot Quartet there to do worship music, and then we'll be providing a service at 11. I think they're going to start around 10:30 or 11, something like that. Anyway, the following will be, there'll be a sermon preached. We're going to provide breakfast. So I think breakfast is going to start being served at 10. So I'll be there at 10 o'clock Sunday morning and come get some breakfast and hear some good music and some good preaching. We'd love to see you there. But until then, I'm signing out so that I can use both hands and get these beans planted because it's getting dark and I'm getting tired. So thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.